When 23-year-old Japanese phenom Roki Sasaki signed with the Dodgers this past offseason, the move sent shockwaves to the baseball world. The right-handed pitching sensation was the most coveted international free agent despite never having thrown a pitch in the MLB, commanding a contract that reflected his mythical status in Japan. But how good is he? Well, the Yak fam had to dig deeper. Sasaki's resume in Japan's Nippon Professional Baseball League was nothing short of extraordinary. His perfect game at age 20 featured 19 consecutive strikeouts, and his fastball consistently touched 102 miles per hour, not to mention the devastating off-speed pitches to complement it. Scouts raved about his polished mechanics, exceptional command, and mental fortitude. All traits that suggested he was MLB ready despite his youth. The Dodgers, fresh off their 2024 World Series victory, won the bidding war for Sasaki's services, pairing him with a rotation that already featured established stars, including Japanese icons Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Los Angeles envisioned Sasaki as not just an immediate contributor, but a potential ace for years to come. Then, reality delivered a harsh wake-up call in the opening weeks of the 2025 season, as Sasaki's transition to MLB has been anything but smooth. His much-anticipated debut saw him struggle with command issues, walking 5 batters in 3 innings. His prize splitter, which had baffled MPB hitters for years, wasn't getting offered at against the more disciplined MLB batters. The low point came on March 29th against the Tigers, when Sasaki was knocked out in the 2nd inning of his Dodgers home debut. Cameras caught the young pitcher in tears in the dugout afterward, an emotional display that quickly went viral and sparked debates about his mental readiness for the pressure cooker of MLB. The Dodgers have publicly backed their prized acquisition, with manager Dave Roberts saying, "All he's known is success, and so I think that he's certainly upset, disappointed. But you gotta be a pro and get back to work. It's not the first time that a starting pitcher has had 2 bad outings. And so again, this is all the learning curve, and we still got a good ball club, and we're gonna need him." For his part, Sasaki has shown flashes of the brilliance that have made him such a coveted prospect. His fastball velocity is elite, and he's recorded impressive strikeout totals even in his difficult outings. But the consistency that's marked his NPB career has yet to materialize, and the baseball world is now watching closely to see whether Sasaki can make the necessary adjustments to fulfill his immense potential. Is he simply experiencing the normal growing pains of a young pitcher adjusting to the highest level of competition? Or have the Dodgers invested in a talent whose skills won't translate to the major leagues? While these questions have yet to be answered, the fact that they're being posed in the first place makes for a fascinating case study. And perhaps by assessing how Sasaki got to this point, we'll be able to see where he goes from here, and whether baseball's most hyped international signing in years is all he's made up to be. What's for sure is that the clock is already ticking on Roki Sasaki's chance to prove that his tears in Detroit were merely a momentary setback, not a sign of things to come. This is why we'll waste no more time uncovering just how good Roki Sasaki is in this video. But before we get into how good he is, first we need to go backward and take a look at his upbringing, both on and off the field, and assess how it shaped the player we see on the mound today. Roki Sasaki's journey to becoming one of baseball's most electrifying pitchers began in Rikuzen, Takata, a coastal city in Japan's Iwate Prefecture. Born on September 3, 2001, Sasaki's early life was marked by both incredible talent and profound tragedy. Sasaki started playing baseball at a young age, following in the footsteps of his father, who introduced him to the sport. As a child, he displayed natural athletic ability and quickly developed a passion for pitching. However, his life changed dramatically in 2011, when the devastating Great East Japan earthquake and tsunami struck Japan, claiming the lives of his father and grandparents, forever altering his family's trajectory. Sasaki, his mother, and his 2 brothers were forced to live in a nursing home during the recovery from this devastating natural disaster. But despite the immense personal tragedy, the young Sasaki persevered. He moved to Ofunado High School, where his remarkable pitching abilities began to gain national attention. By his high school years, Sasaki was already displaying the extraordinary velocity that would become his trademark, regularly throwing pitches that exceeded 100 miles per hour, which is ridiculous for any pitcher at that age. His high school performances soon became legendary, with scouts from both Japanese and MLB teams flocking to see the phenom. In particular, a game during his third year of high school cemented his reputation when he struck out 17 batters while consistently throwing fastballs over 100 miles per hour. But rather than immediately pursuing opportunities in the MLB, Sasaki entered Japan's professional baseball draft. In 2019, he was selected first overall by the Chiba Lotte Marines of Nippon Professional Baseball, or the NPB. The Marines made the unusual decision to have Sasaki sit out the 2020 season to focus on strength and conditioning, as he was still just 18 years old at the time, prioritizing his long-term development over immediate results. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you like this video, like and subscribe to our channel to never miss a beat on player profiles. Anyways, when Sasaki finally debuted professionally in 2021, he quickly established himself as one of NPB's elite pitchers. His development with the Marines was carefully managed by the team, implementing strict pitch counts to protect his arm and ensuring his long-term health and longevity. This approach proved wise, as Sasaki continued to develop his arsenal beyond just his blazing fastball, adding a devastating splitter and slider to his repertoire. And then, the pinnacle of his MPB career came in April of 2022, when he threw a perfect game against the Oryx Buffaloes, striking out 19 batters, a performance widely regarded as one of the greatest in Japanese baseball history. He followed this by retiring 13 consecutive batters in his next start, setting a new NPB record of 52 consecutive outs. After several dominant seasons with the Marines, Sasaki expressed his desire to test his skills against the world's best hitters in the MLB. The Marines, respecting his wishes after years of service to the team, posted him through the MLB posting system, making him available to MLB teams after the 2025 season came to a close. While there was little doubt about Sasaki's talent, some aspects of his personality and mentality came into question when MLB scouts began trying to figure out when, in a January 14, 2025 X post, ESPN MLB insider Buster Olney wrote that, "In Roki Sasaki's past meetings with teams, he's come across as a very quiet, very serious person. This is being interpreted by some teams as a sign that he might prefer to be in a place where he isn't in the center of attention, in a smaller market or among more established stars." This raised red flags among some MLB organizations, especially those in big markets like New York. And eyebrows were raised even higher after Olney's sentiment because of what Sasaki's agent Joel Wolf told the media on December 10th. "Roki has had a tough go of it the last couple of years. The media in Japan has been very tough on him," Wolf said. He later added, "I think that there's an argument to be made that a smaller mid-market team might be more beneficial for him as a soft landing." "Might be. I'm not saying it will be," Wolf continued, "but it might be beneficial for him to be in a smaller market." However, Wolf immediately seemed to realize that he might have just alienated his highest bidders as he backtracked on his words by adding, "Sasaki hasn't said anything negative about any particular city. He actually hasn't said anything overly positive about it. We haven't had any detailed discussions about any particular cities yet." Ultimately, these comments didn't seem to matter much to the Dodgers, as they completed their signing of Sasaki to a one-year, $760,000 deal that included a $6.5 million signing bonus. And while there's no question Sasaki is worth much more money than that because he's under 25 years old and has less than 6 years of professional baseball experience, he was subject to international bonus pool rules, which limited the amount teams could offer him. But this was no problem, because the belief was that Sasaki would enter MLB, become a Cy Young candidate, and sign a massive deal as soon as he becomes eligible, making up for the team-friendly contract he's currently on. However, that future seems in doubt now, given Sasaki's early struggles with the Dodgers. Early season woes and emotional questions aside, nobody who knows baseball can deny that even at his young age, Sasaki is arguably the best arm talent and pitch repertoire of any pitcher in the world. And before we dive deeper into his lethal pitch arsenal, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future videos featuring baseball's most polarizing players. And back to it. Sasaki's four-seam fastball is his primary weapon, sitting at 98 to 102 miles per hour and regularly touching triple digits. What makes this pitch exceptional isn't just the elite velocity, but the remarkable ride and carry through the zone. And despite throwing with such power, he maintains plus control, allowing him to command this devastating pitch to all four quadrants of the strike zone. This combination of velocity and command forms the foundation of his success. His splitter, sometimes classified as a forkball, might be his most dominant offering, thrown at 88 to 92 miles per hour with sharp, late downward break. It's disgusting. The pitch features a significant vertical drop that tunnels perfectly off his high-riding fastball, creating a devastating velocity-movement combination. Sasaki showed an elite feel for this pitch in various counts during his time playing in Japan, often using it as a signature out pitch. Many evaluators even consider it one of the best splitters in the world, generating an exceptional swing and miss rate. Sasaki's slider provides a different look at 85 to 89 miles per hour with tight break and late horizontal movement. While certainly not as dominant as his fastball splitter combination, the slider's movement on a different plane gives hitters another challenge to consider. His command of this pitch continues to improve with experience too. To further complicate matters for hitters, Sasaki employs a cutter in the 90 to 94 mile per hour range that features late glove side break. This pitch sits between his fastball and slider in terms of both velocity and movement profile. While still developing compared to his primary offerings, the cutter adds another dimension to his attack plan and gives hitters yet another velocity and movement pattern to recognize. And rounding out his arsenal is a traditional curveball with good depth in the 78 to 83 mile per hour range. This pitch provides significant velocity separation from his fastball and is used more sparingly than his other offerings. The curveball gives Sasaki a complete 5-pitch mix, allowing him to show hitters different looks throughout multiple times through the order. And what really makes Sasaki's repertoire particularly devastating is how his pitches work together. His ability to tunnel his fastball and splitter from the same arm slot and release point makes it extremely hard for hitters to distinguish between the two until it's way too late. Not to mention his remarkably clean and repeatable mechanics for someone with his velocity, which contributes to his above-average command. Rather than relying solely on arm strength, Sasaki generates his tremendous velocity through exceptional lower body drive and hip-shoulder separation, which helps with both his durability and control. And what's perhaps most impressive of all is that, given Sasaki's young age and inexperience facing MLB hitters, his pitches are only going to improve as he ages. This is why it would be absurd to write him off right now, even if he isn't mentally mature enough to be a world-class pitcher in 2025. Not to mention that emotional maturity isn't the only thing that goes into having the right mind to become great in baseball. Especially for pitching, which is an art form, one must be able to see and understand the game in a way that few others can. Plus, those who haven't embraced analytics at this point are destined to get left behind. And not only has Sasaki embraced analytics, but he's crafted an ingenious way to extract analytical options from the game's best minds during his MLB courting process. A January 18th article from The Athletic gave a behind-the-scenes look at how MLB teams recruited Sasaki and his ultimate decision to sign with the Dodgers. And at the heart of each free agency presentation, Sasaki and his management gave each team that was trying to sign him what was called a homework assignment. The article is quoted as saying, "After years of anticipation, these gatherings represented the home stretch of a long selection process. And at this critical juncture, the Japanese star seemed clear about what he wanted to hear. He asked each potential employer to explain the reason behind a vexing issue that lingered over his final season before a long-anticipated jump to the majors. Why did his velocity fall off?" Sasaki's fastball velocity dipped to an average of about 97 miles per hour in 2024, which was down from the 99 miles per hour it was in 2023. And since he didn't know what the cause of this was, he asked the world's best pitching minds from a majority of MLB's teams. And not only did this assignment give Sasaki insight into how each team treats analytics, injury history, and pitcher development pillars, but he essentially received mechanical wisdom from various elite coaches, all but one of whom were soon going to become his opponents. This approach rubbed some teams the wrong way, as the article quoted several anonymous coaches and front office members feeling exploited that Sasaki was merely entertaining them in order to extract their wisdom, rather than truly give them a fair chance at signing him. Others found this homework assignment ingenious and a glimpse into what can be expected from this 23-year-old as he continues to develop. While the various answers to this homework assignment were never provided, whatever the Dodgers gave Sasaki was clearly to his liking. And then again, some believe that Sasaki was always going to go to the Dodgers, considering the current Japanese superstars on their team and them being fresh off winning the World Series. For what it's worth, Sasaki's four-seam fastball has averaged 97.1 miles per hour to this point in the MLB regular season, which is about the same as his reported velocity drop last year. So while whatever the Dodgers said hasn't worked well enough, perhaps they took more of a long-term approach to this kid's fastball. In fact, maybe they took a long-term approach overall when it comes to Sasaki, which, let's be honest, the rest of the baseball community could learn something from. Yes, Sasaki's current difficulties are a departure from the dominance we've come to expect. But don't forget that this is the same pitcher who threw a perfect game with 19 strikeouts in April of 2022, and then followed it with 8 perfect innings in his next start. And what makes Sasaki's potential so tantalizing is his commitment to improvement, which is exemplified by his notorious homework assignment this offseason. Rather than accepting his already elite fastball, Sasaki continues working meticulously on building velocity and refining his mechanics. This dedication to his craft speaks volumes about his character and determination to maximize his extraordinary gifts as he grows into his MLB persona. In fact, the tears he shed over his recent performances may reveal something equally important: his passion and his high standards. The greatest athletes take their craft personally, and Sasaki's emotional investment in his performance demonstrates the competitive fire that drives all-time greats. Baseball history is filled with examples of young phenoms who faced early adversity before ascending to legendary status. Pedro Martinez struggled with control early in his career, and Sandy Koufax didn't become dominant until his 7th season. And even future Hall of Famer Jacob deGrom opened his MLB career with an 8-game winless streak. By mid-June, his record stood at 0-4 with a 4.39 ERA, and questions emerged about whether he belonged in the Mets' rotation. Imagine that. Then, deGrom righted the ship as his performance improved dramatically in the season's second half. He finished his rookie year with a 9.6 record and a respectable 2.69 ERA over 22 starts, earning the NL Rookie of the Year award despite his early struggles. And we wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same thing with Sasaki. All this to say that these temporary setbacks didn't define these pitchers, they strengthened them. And Sasaki's current woes will ultimately serve the same purpose. His rare combination of elite physical tools, technical brilliance, and passionate commitment to improvement virtually guarantees a bounce back. The path to greatness is rarely linear, and these struggles are merely refining his mental toughness. The verdict remains clear. Roki Sasaki is destined to overcome this challenging period and establish himself as an all-time great pitcher. His Dodgers dugout tears will someday be remembered as just a brief chapter in one of baseball's most extraordinary careers. Thanks again for watching this video and allowing the Yak fam to be part of your day.